From Learfield on the Texas A&M Sports Network. Welcome to the Aggie Soccer Hour with Coach G, live from Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue on Harvey Road in College Station. Brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Visit rudys.com to find real Texas barbecue near you. Now, the Aggie Soccer Hour with Coach G.
Welcome to the 181st edition of the Aggie Soccer Hour. I am David Ellis alongside his Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri. We are glad you're with us, and if you're out looking around trying to figure out, I don't know what we're going to do for dinner tonight. Well, I got an idea. Rudy's Barbecue. They've been cooking barbecue here all day, and they've got it ready for you right now. Can't wait till the show's over so I can go over there and get me some of that as well. Gee, the Aggies.
Well, and later on tonight, you got Mike Elko will be here. Does his show from right here at Rudy's at 8 o'clock. So,
absolutely. So come on out for that.
Can cobbler in between, one and the other. Get your Rudy's and then get your copper from Rudy's.
And in between, you can take a nap too. Which is what I probably end up doing.
Might not wake up.
Yeah. So the Aggies wound up the non-conference portion of the season. 3 wins, 1 loss, and 3 ties. 2 road trips, 2 kind of long bus trips to Stephen F. Austin over in East Texas and to TCU. The Aggies tied Stephen F. Austin 0-0. We can talk about that one in just a little bit. And then I thought, all in all, the Aggies dropped the contest against TCU late by a 2-1 margin on the late goal by A.J. Hennessy for TCU. The last 4.5 minutes, something like that. I thought the Aggies, particularly in the second half, played some of their best soccer all year long.
Well, I told the players afterwards, and as well as this week, just on how I was really proud of the effort that they put in, because it was the game was played at one pace on Thursday over in Nacogdoches, and it was played on a completely different pace in Fort Worth. And I thought that our players stepped up to it just fine. I thought that they did great. We scored a great goal. Had a great penalty kick save from our goalkeeper.
Yes, absolutely.
Sydney. And then we didn't deserve to not win the game. We deserved to at least get a draw out of it. And so for us to walk away as on the wrong side of a 2-1 score, that was a little. I guess you should feel bad about that. And the whole question of, do you love winning or do you hate losing? What is the higher degree? And I think I hate losing more than anything else. Luckily, I don't have to remember as many of them as the wins, but you do learn more about your team when you don't win a game. Because all of a sudden, any warts or abnormalities are exposed, and you've got to then go out and do it. Whereas sometimes you can get away with some of those little bumps, and when you win, and you don't really take care of it, and there could be kind of a steady slide. So really, for us to get that result on the road as the game right before the SEC starts this week, I think is a bit of a blessing, because it points to some things that we do well, a lot of things that we do well, but it also points to a couple things that we've got to clean up, pronto.
Yeah, and if you go back to the game on Thursday against Stephen F. Austin, the Aggies outshot Stephen F. 25-9. They were dropping 5-6 people behind the ball. It was like trying to score behind a picket fence.
5 and 6. The whole 11 were behind the ball. But but they had 5 and 6 inside the box.
Yeah,
and it made it kind of tight.
It did, and it's as the game progressed, you could tell from their reaction after the game, they were playing for the draw, and they got it. It's not an excuse. It's just the way the game played out. And then the game again. I thought A&M against TCU, the intensity that the Aggies played the second half with, I guess is the word that I'm looking for, I thought was really, really high. In fact, as a matter of fact, had as a part of the SEC thing, I'm not telling anything out of school, had a phone call with Kadani McAlpin today, the head coach at Georgia, and he said he was just incredibly impressed with the intensity that Texas A&M played with at TCU. He said the Aggies just a team that's going to come after you, and they're not going to stop coming after you for the entire 90 minutes. And that's kind of the way we played against TCU for the most part.
Yeah. The thing that we keep pointing to is the fact that this is a team that is brand new, and so many of the parts of this team have not played in league games or have not played in games that counted yet. We had a really good spring, a lot of positive steps from the time we started our first match in March to the time we finished it just in April. And we've stepped up a lot since then as well. And again, some of the additions have been a big part of that. And you see though that you still have to have experiences. You still need to get those experiences of playing in games like that, playing in games where, all right, you're not going to get the calls. You're on the road. You are the road team. You are the team that they're going to point at you all the time, and the field isn't like you like it, and the lights aren't like you like it, and they don't have video replay to benefit the home team, and they've got all those things, and until you go through that, you haven't gone through that, and so I think our players did. They experienced a lot of that this past week, and it's a matter of now we need to, again, we talk about controlling the controllables, and the things that we can control, we can do a better job of. I thought that actually when we made substitutions, those players that stepped in, and they raised the temperature in the room. Shay Ryan, one of the best examples, that when she stepped on, nothing against the players that were in before, but when she stepped on, it was like go time, and that amped things up a little bit. I thought that Bailey Kate came in and did the same thing. So now we've got to go from the idea of we need to start that from the get-go, because we can play at that level, we can play at that speed, and we're going to be playing at home, and we're going to be playing in front of the 12th man, and it's a big night on Friday night. You got Fish Camp, which means a lot of screaming freshmen hopefully coming into the building, and and they come in for free. They wear their Fish Camp shirt, they get in for free. So for all of that, let's see how we did as far as learning from the experiences that we just had, and looking at the weather for Friday. It's not going to rain, so we're going to play on the first dry field we've played on in a while, and that'll be helpful as well. So we're one game away from being undefeated. We'd like to be going into this game undefeated, but we're going into it a little bit wiser about ourselves.
Yeah, and this whole thing, you talked about this with as many new players on the Aggies roster. This has been a process of putting those pieces together and getting the players used to playing with each other. I mean, your entire back line is new. I mean, you've got 3 transfer players and a freshman playing back there, and so it's a difficult. It takes time, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I mean, it really does.
Unfortunately, with the NCAA, you don't really have a lot of time, because the way the NCAA season is right now, it's 2 games. Now, this week is a little bit different for us, because we only have 1 game on Friday instead of playing on Thursday night. So that's 1 more day of preparation that we get while Georgia is traveling. And I mean, you think like, okay, well, 1 day, what can that do? It actually does a lot. It gives us a lot more time to to fine-tune our stuff, but also understand what we think the other team might be doing against us. And then it also makes it to where we don't have a game on Sunday.
Right.
So it's a chance for us to get a great day of rest on Saturday. We can watch Aggie football that evening, and then we'll come back and train on Sunday night. So a lot of our players might go home, who live here in Texas, might go home on Saturday and Sunday, and then they get back, and we're going to train Sunday night in preparation for our trip to Auburn next week.
Yeah, and the Aggies have 10 games remaining on the schedule. It's a 10-game conference schedule. 5 of those teams are ranked in the top 25. 4 of those 5 games that are ranked against the top 25 teams are on the road.
Thanks, just, SEC.
Yeah. Well, it's just the way it worked out. And but I mean, You got to win on the road, period,
Well,
to do well in this
matter.
league.
It honestly, you were going to get a lot of ranked teams no matter what. I mean, now the fact that we're going to go to number 1 Tennessee, that we're going to go to the team that has the biggest crowds in the country right now, even more than we do in South Carolina. I mean, that sure ain't going to be easy. You're going to go up to Oklahoma on a football weekend.
Yeah, and Matt Mott's got that team going and rolling.
Yeah. So you knew you were going to run into a lot of tough hurdles, and that's just the way it is in this league. But it's okay. The cool thing is, one of the things that we learned from this past weekend is a little bit about how spoiled we are in the SEC, because every one of our fields is immaculate. They're all Bermuda. I know this might not make a difference unless you're a golfer, but the ball rolls. You got drainage. We can have storms. We can have hurricanes, and games can be played. As a matter of fact, our team, we're playing Friday, Georgia. I mean, the game that they played against North Carolina in a virtual monsoon, a lot of fields wouldn't be able to handle that. But again, these are land grant colleges with ag departments, and they can do it. And now, whereas in Nacogdoches we played in a floodplain, and so our feet were wet even though it hadn't rained. And in Fort Worth they watered the field for some reason, for right before each half just to make it that much more muddy and boggy. So we don't have to deal with that kind of stuff here in the SEC. And it's refreshing because it just shows what a great league it is and how well it's supported by the fans and by the universities.
Well, and just a quick comment before we take a break. Was talking to the SID, soccer SID at Georgia today, and he told me that so far this year, told him I thought the weather was going to be pretty good this weekend, and he said good. He said because we've had 5.5 hours of rain delays so far on our schedule this season. So I
think they were supposed to have a 6:30 kickoff this past week at home, and it ended up not kicking off until almost 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
It'll be 7:30 on Friday with the Aggies.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to be right back with assistant head coach Alyssa Motz-Bauer right after this. You're listening to the Aggie Soccer Hour.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of
Harvey Road. There we are. Of course we are. Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. My fault back there, Adam. I was just so anxious to get back here and get the show started again. It jumped all over it. We are at Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. If you're out and about looking for something to do for dinner, well, Rudy's will get you fixed up, and you'll be able to listen to the Aggie Soccer Hour with Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri, with assistant head coach Alyssa Motz-Bauer. And then coming up later tonight, the Aggie football show will be starting right here at, I believe, 8 o'clock. So anyway, you got a great night of sports here at Rudy's Barbecue, not to mention the barbecue itself. All right, we're going to talk, as I mentioned, to Alyssa Motz-Bauer, who joined the Aggie staff back in the summer of 2022 after a 10-year career in the NWSL, where she played for the Chicago Red Stars. She was honored as one of the original 21 players who saw action in every season of the league's existence in that first 10 years. Not only was she a star here at Texas A&M, but represented the United States, winning the 2008 Women's U20 World Cup in Chile. I mean, she has just had an incredible career, and she is now become an incredible coach for Texas A&M. Even played down in Australia for the Perth Glory and the Adelaide United. So, welcome, Alyssa. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, I'm going to ask you. You played at such a high level for so long, starting here at Texas A&M, but then it's a whole different game when you're playing internationally, and then in the pros. How big of an adjustment was it for you? But before we get into that, let's tell the people what it is you do for Texas A&M soccer. What's your emphasis area in terms of your coaching?
A big piece that I'm doing right now is working on IDPs, so individual development plans, and just kind of really critiquing and getting like Holly Storrs here, and we've kind of been like setting goals for each game, like what she wants to do. And then she comes out once a week, and we kind of do individuals and really look at her shot. Like today we were filming it and seeing like the breakdown of it, and just seeing how we can just be more consistent with everything we do. and how can we get her shot to always hit the back of the net and not hit front post but back post.
There you go. So when you're teaching those kind of things, again, playing at that kind of high level that you did for so long, and you get used to communicating with people who are playing at that same level. I mean, international soccer, professional soccer, I mean, some of the best in the world. And you're in the middle of it. You're playing with these people on a daily basis, practicing with these people. And now you have to translate that game back to the college game, which is different. I mean, you've got people at different levels of their development. How much of an adjustment has that been for you and in terms of going from being part of the action to being now just somebody who has to communicate what you want to do, and you can't get out there and do it yourself?
Yeah. It's been a huge adjustment. Like, I think I'm always been like the doer, and instead now I have to communicate and actually verbalize what I want them to do and watch them do it. And that is the hardest part for me, because I'm one of those people that just likes to do it physically myself and just do anything I can for my team. But now I'm just having to like communicate the adjustments that they need to make to fix like mistakes or what could be better. So I think just like communicating to them and actually like being able to describe it verbally has been the like hardest part about it.
I would think so, because is it the case that you kind of got to adopt a communication technique or the right words that it may be different for one player than it is from another player, right? And in terms of how they respond and how you get the same message across to two different players.
Yeah, I mean, it's just finding that right word that actually clicks for the player. I think is the hardest part. Like if I say paint the ball, if you're trying to like dip it over the wall, like I think some players would take it completely different and actually like literally paint the ball up and down. But Trinity's does it pretty well. I think she's kind of like, that's been a good word to describe actually how you strike the ball when it's a free kick.
What do you mean when you say paint the ball? I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
Just like stroking, like from top to bottom. I don't know. Like
okay. So the way your foot strikes the ball.
Yeah.
Well, and it's the way that your foot is going to affect the spin on the ball. So if you're going to hit it with a baseball bat, you're not like brushing something. You're smashing something. And so if you're going to try to put a nuance on the flight of the ball, then typically you're going to have to try to affect the spin. So it's a way of talking about the pressure on the ball, I think, a little bit. Mm-hmm. Would you say?
Yeah. I think like it's just in that particular one, you're just working on the dip. So instead of like a powerful straightforward like strike through the ball, land on that shooting foot, you're going from you have to get over, chip it, but also come back down
and get the spin on
it.
So
you want top spin. So they think about like a tennis player that they can just hit the heck out of the ball, but that ball is always dipping in to land before it goes over the baseline. Well, same thing we're trying to do. That we want the ball to go over the wall, but under the crossbar. And if you only hit it hard, it's going to go over the wall, over the crossbar, over the bleachers, over the fence, and over the bus in the parking lot. So it's just a matter of understanding there's specific little nuances that you can have into it.
What about during the course of a game? What are you focusing on in terms of what you're watching and what you're talking to players about during the course of a game?
I really like watching like the 7 and 11s. So
those are the wings.
The wingers.
Right.
Especially like defensively, what does their shape look like? And then offensively, is their movement good? Like, are they in a good pocket to like go forward? Is their body shape good when they're receiving the ball? Those are the type of things that I'm kind of looking for. Are they being dangerous? Like once we get into the final third, and then just I'm not a screamer, so I casually go over there when they're on the sidelines and just kind of see what I see, and then ask them like how did they feel out there.
So, do you also watch body language and that sort of thing on the pitch?
Yeah, I really like to observe people, and I kind of read, I feel like, them well if like they're struggling and they need a little pep talk, or hey, can I dig into them and actually like rip into them a little bit.
Yeah, and there's some. I would take it that there are some players where you can do more of that you can with others, right? Again, it's getting to know personalities and that sort of thing.
Yes,
and
I
they
figure
respond.
that throughout, like individuals, how I can coach each player, like what they need. Like a Kaylee Noble, I know you can be very, very direct with her, and she likes it when you get into her a little bit. So I think just figuring out what will get the best out of the player and the tone, the right tone, can go far.
Well, it has just been great. I've learned so much from you, watching you coach. It's been an educational experience for me, and I know it will be for these players as well. We're going to take another quick break, and we're going to come back, speaking of players, with Holly Storer and Riley Cooks. This has been a Let's Some Otts Bauer. We'll be right back right after this. It's the Aggie Soccer Hour. Back. It's the Aggie Soccer Hour here at Rudy's Barbecue out on Harvey Road. They've been cooking barbecue all day long for you, so come on out. I mean, it's dinner time. Come on. You can come out here and talk soccer with Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri, who is down at the end of the table. In the middle of the table here, we have two of our players on the Aggie soccer team. To my immediate left is Riley Crooks. Riley Crooks comes to us from Huntington Beach, California. She have started, I think, every game at center back, right?
Yep.
Okay, you're going to have to speak up, and you're going to have to tell them yes.
Right.
Yeah. You got to speak up, and nods don't work on radio. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. All right. And then to her left, from Keller, Texas, another freshman, plays outside mid/forward for us. You see her wearing number 21 on the pitch, and that's Holly Storer. So welcome to both Riley and to Holly. And Holly now has been, if you've been involved in the Aggie Soccer Hour, one of the things we like to do is we like to torture the freshmen. And one of the things that we always do is get them to read.
No, it's not torturing. It's exposing the brilliance of the freshmen. Is all it is. It's allowing them to show off a little bit.
Well, it takes part of the fun out of it for me then. But
but it comes across to them in different ways. I think is the way it is. So.
All right. So remember, couple of things. Okay. All right, Holly. So here's the deal. Number one, we're selling barbecue here. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got to sell barbecue. Number two, we've been doing this particular thing right here for like 8 years. Nobody has ever messed it up, okay? so don't be the first.
So that's not pressure. That's
No,
just
no,
a
no,
fact.
no, no, just a fact.
Yeah.
So are you ready? Go, you got it.
Okay. Soccer and barbecue lovers know the perfect brisket needs the right wood. Rudy's smokes all their meats using their delicious signature rubs in 100% oak-fired pits. Get your real Texas barbecue fix today at Rudy's or on the web at rudys.com.
There you go. You nailed
Perfect
it.
again.
Congratulations.
See, just showing off.
Look at that. I mean, that was just a walk in the park. Now, the reason that we didn't make Riley do that is because yesterday was her birthday. You were 19 years old yesterday, right?
Yes, I am.
Congratulations. Did you do anything special?
I got to go to practice, which is
There you
a
go.
good way to celebrate, and then I just went and got dinner with my mom.
Cool. That's great. That is great. And so we had, by the way, we have a question up here that we've got for Riley and for Holly. There are cards on each one of the tables and some of those pencils. If you've got questions that you want to ask either one of the players or Coach G later on, bring them on up here. We'll try to get to them. But one of the questions we had for both of you, as a matter of fact, involves it's a math problem. It's a little calculus.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. Just kidding. So first of all, both of you guys enrolled in January, right?
Yes.
Okay. So number one, what made you decide to enroll in January? It's been an increasing trend among college soccer players. And number two, are you glad you did? And we'll go ahead and start out with you, Holly.
For me, it was kind of an easy decision. I was a little nervous at first to graduate early, but overall, I feel like it was very beneficial and has helped me where I am today. And just I've learned so much coming in early, and being able to get used to it and comfortable of just playing with all the girls and stuff has just really helped me as a player and growth. And I'm just really glad I ended up doing it.
Well, it also would seem to make a difference too from an academic point of view. You kind of get that first semester under your belt, so to speak. And Riley, I mean, it's one of the things that I would think is nothing else. You kind of learn where everything is, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
And so are you, same thing, are you kind of happy you did and that sort of thing? Tell us.
I'm super happy I did it. I think it was just a great opportunity. I was definitely a little hesitant at first just because it's not common at all in California to do that. I think I was one of the first people from my high school to do it, but I think it was super great for me, especially now in the fall.
Well, and it takes kind of a big commitment on your part. I mean, you're leaving high school, you know, your last semester in high school is a big deal.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and you're giving it up and you're going, you know, from cruising through a place that you know you're familiar with, around people where you know everybody and all that stuff, to going to a place hundreds of miles away and starting to play soccer at 100 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, totally. It was also difficult for me just because my mom was my high school coach for soccer, so leaving her.
It was a family thing. That was a big sacrifice. Maybe not as much for Riley as it was for Mom.
Yeah.
You know, the last chance to coach, you know, your daughter, who's the star of the team, and she's going to go away, and now your star has left your team and has moved on, but the team still did pretty well. But I you know, these are two freshmen that are starters for us.
Right.
And so that's a little bit of what you see from them making that little sacrifice to come early, to get their feet underneath them, to be able to play with their new teammates. Now, you know, they stepped right into the fall and they've hit the ground running.
So, Holly, what was the biggest adjustment for you? Whether it was academically or time management or soccer, what was the biggest adjustment coming in from, you know, leaving Keller, Texas in December and then coming to College Station, Texas in January?
Yeah, so it definitely was like completely different, like scheduling wise as well, like coming to play soccer every single day with like new people, just like a whole new experience. And I feel like the adjustment was pretty easy though, because of like all the people is just so welcoming and like they help you just get through everything. So I'm really grateful that all my teammates were there for me to help me kind of get around and just be able to adjust easily, I'd say.
So, Riley, I've got a question for you. So your mom, high school, soccer coach, and she played at UC Irvine, right?
Yes, she did.
And then your grandfather, Michael McGrath, is in the Pro Bowlers Association Hall of Fame and the American Bowling Congress, I think it is, Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So the team went out bowling Saturday night in Fort Worth. So I would be surprised, shocked, if you didn't like bowl like 220 or something.
I don't think I got that high. I did get second both times.
You did?
Yes, I lost to our coach Tim. He beat me by 1 point.
She won of the players. She was okay. Tops.
All right. So did they accuse you of cheating because you had all this? This is a genetic thing with you?
Yes, it's definitely it's in the blood.
First of all, did you tell anybody that your grandfather was in?
Yes, I did.
Okay, right.
I did.
Okay. I just.
Well, the other part of it too is, you know, we have a lot of people on this team who have incredible eye-foot coordination, eye-hand coordination, throwing down a slick alley. It looked somewhat foreign to a few of them, and so I think Riley was already ahead of the game before they even put the shoes on. So.
Fortunately, they didn't try to kick the ball.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
We only lost 2 people to that, but that was okay.
So, you guys, Riley, and I'm going to ask both of y'all the same question, but I mean, you had to come in. You came in. You're the lone freshman on the back line.
Yes.
I mean, that's huge to step up to that level. And play in the center back role, which is, I mean, there's a lot of pressure associated with that, and you have done that. How the fact that you're the lone freshman back there and you've got all this experience around you, has that helped you?
Oh yes, totally. Just having especially Bella Yakel next to me, she's been super great, and just the whole back line, honestly, they've been super supportive, and I feel like I learn something new every day from one of them.
And so, this whole process, this whole year is going to be probably a learning process for you.
Totally.
Because you can tell it because you get better every game as it goes along. And Holly, same thing for you. I mean, you're coming into a lot of new players. You're one of the new players. We have a lot of transfers this year, but then also on top of that, you're not only new to Texas A&M, but you're new to college soccer, new to playing at that level. How long did it take you before you started to feel comfortable?
I would say definitely in the the spring I got pretty comfortable like playing around like everybody and getting used to like the like just a lot higher like playing from like kind of like a lower level to a higher level is just a lot different, especially coming in as a freshman, like you said. But this fall, definitely like our first game, I just felt like I've been improving like each game and getting used to it and more comfortable. So I would say just like it's just going to keep growing for me to get even more comfortable. But I'm just glad that I get the opportunity to like play for my team and just be out there. And I just hope I continue to just get better and play better for them.
All right, quick question, Riley, before we got to go. When you first time you went out on the field at Ellis Field for that very first game, what were the butterflies like?
Oh, they were all over the place. It was definitely just having all those people out there watching. It's something like I never thought I'd be able to play in front of, just because it's just crazy. There's nothing like it. But I think just like getting used to it, it's just such a big blessing just to have that many people supporting you and having your back.
Holly, you scored your first collegiate goal recently. What was that? How was that? How did that make you feel?
It was a really cool experience. I'm just grateful that I was able to show like what I can do, and I just hope I can continue to score more goals. And I'm just so grateful that like I had the people around me to support me and just also have like my whole team really excited for me. And it was just such a surreal feeling. It was really good.
Well, we're both so glad. We're so glad that both of you here choose to come to Texas A&M, and we look forward to a great career out of both of you. That is Holly Storr, Riley Crooks. Ladies, thank you for taking time to come out and visit with us.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back right after this. You're listening to the Aggie Soccer Hour. All righty, we are back here at Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. It's the Aggie Soccer Hour with Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri. Glad you're out with us tonight, and got a couple of more segments here. But mentioned just a while ago about cards and pencils out on the table if you have a question for Coach G, and we got one. It's a really, really good question. So wanted to ask Coach G about, so we had somebody write down, I've noticed the teams you play, you've challenged thus far, mostly half the starters are international. Not right or wrong, but does A&M not have an international presence? But why does A&M not have an international presence on the roster? And what advantage or disadvantage do you have by not having international players on your roster?
Well, it's a really good question because there are some very good international players actually who have played for us in recent years. You look at Mia Pante and Jasmine Wilkinson last year, both Canadians. Now, are Canadians officially foreign players? It's like from Wisconsin kind of thing, or for them, for more like Upper Seattle coming out of Vancouver, but. And they were great players, and they're both playing professionally. Same thing with Anderson Williams, just signed a professional contract in the Northern Super League up in Canada. The biggest thing about it is that one of the great things that Title IX has done for female athletes for the last 50 years has been opening doors to playing sports in high school, playing sports in college, and the United States has had a huge advantage in developing players. You look at the current rankings in the world, where the women have just slipped to number 2 by 1 percentage point in the world rankings, whereas the men are number 15 in the world. So we're able to recruit on a level that is stable with some of the best players in the world, really without leaving our own borders. Texas, in the state of Texas alone, we can recruit nationally. We can recruit players who have played for the United States national team, and we've had many over the years. We've been able to expand our recruiting more into the West Coast. And again, when you look at youth national championships, most of those championships are being won by teams from California. Riley Crooks is here, plays for a club who's won many national championships. And what we're looking for are people who can step in and play at an athletic level, but also be able to play at the level technically and tactically. The advantage that the internationals have is not as many people in college see them, so they usually come in kind of as a hidden gem. So, for example, we played Texas State. They had 5 players from Ghana. I haven't driven on my way to and from work. I haven't driven through Ghana in quite a while, and that's Steve Holman obviously has a connection in Ghana somewhere, and those players are terrific. But it is also kind of a gamble because when you're talking about international players, there's usually at least a 1-year acquaintance factor that goes into them getting acquainted with what it's like to be in the United States. My roommate in college was a terrific player from Dublin, Ireland, and I went to school in Tulsa, and his the first year his stomach was doing backflips just because we weren't eating potatoes every day to pull out the stereotype of the Irish, but it was anything with spice was really he was having a hard time getting acclimated to the culture of what the United States was like. Now he was a fantastic player, ended up being a great player, and some of the players that we've seen that are internationals have been the best players, and we always alert our goalkeepers that when you're playing against an international player, they see the game differently. They're coming usually from a football culture, so they are they're sneaky. You better watch out. They're going to shoot. They could shoot from 50 yards, and they can make you look really bad. And so, but because the NCAA, you almost right now have to be a immediate hit or you're gone, has made it to where the internationals are a little bit more of a gamble than the past. We had a great Icelandic player. The first year, it was a total acclimation issue, her getting used to it. The second year, she was fantastic. The third year, she was out she signed a pro contract, and she's currently playing in Madrid. So she's had a great career. It was a great experience for her to come to the United States and everything, but it also was really, really, really challenging for them socially and culturally.
And we've had some players from Mexico.
We've had some fantastic players from Mexico. Jimena Lopez is one of the best examples, but Jimena came in. Jimena had gone to school at St. Stephen's over in Austin.
Right.
So she had already had that acclimation period, and she ended up, marrying an American from our track program. So Jimena was just back on campus last fall, which is always great to see her. And she's currently still playing with Tigres down in Mexico in the first division.
All right, we've got about a minute before we have to take another break, but I know you want something very near and dear to your heart and to my heart about a couple of former Aggie players who are battling some serious health issues right now.
Yeah, we talked about Riley's Club Slammers. One of their alumnus and a huge alumni of ours, and someone who played and coached on our staff is Mary Grace Schmidt, or Mary Grace Gwynn is her married name. Mary's living in the Chicago area now. She's got 3 little kids, and she was recently they found a brain tumor for her, and she had to go in. Had to go in and do some surgery yesterday. She came out of it just fine. They found out that it was stage 2, so it's not as fast growing as it could be. So they didn't take all of the tumor out, but they took enough of it out so they could test and see where she is. So she's recovering. There's been a lot of prayer warriors, out there, working for Mary, and we still need those prayers for Mary. And if you go to our Facebook page, we'll post some updates, on that, because the other part of it is, what happens now for her. She's got 3 little kids. She's got all these people around the world who are, kind of coming together. Alyssa, who was on a little while ago, was talking about, some of the things that she does. Well, one of the things that Alyssa does is keep our alumni, our part of the family, connected on what's going on. So she sent out a kind of an APB to all of the women around the country and around the world who played for A&M, and they're putting some stuff together for Mary Grace. The other one that we found out about earlier right at the end of the summer, start of preseason, was Ashley Pistorius Slayback, who also has 3 little kids. And she has a stage 3 breast cancer, and has been going through all the treatments there. They were treating it before they could go in and do any kind of surgery to try to take out that tumor and what was happening. But again, she's well on her way. I know she's had at least 15 bouts of chemo so far. And actually, Ashley will be coming here She and the family are coming here for our last home game of the year for the Kentucky game. So we need prayers for those guys.
Yeah, we do. And so I'd ask you to, with your families and friends, to keep Mary Grace and Ashley in your prayers, because they mean a lot to a lot of us. All right, with that, we're going to take another quick break. We'll come back with a finish of the Aggie Soccer Hour from Rudy's Barbecue. All righty, we are back to sprint to the finish here at the Aggie Soccer Hour. Rudy's Barbecue on Harvey Road. I'm David Ellis, alongside is Texas A&M head coach G Guerrieri. We mentioned it a couple of times, but it is Friday night. The Fish Camp game against Georgia gets underway at 7:30. Now, if you wear your Fish Camp T-shirt, you're going to get in free. And I have it on pretty good authority. If you've just got one from last year or the year before and you can still somehow squeeze into it, wear it. They'll probably let you in.
If you're like a seventh-year sophomore,
yeah,
you can still wear that.
You can still wear it.
It may not fit, but you can still wear it.
Absolutely. So you can get in now. If you're going to purchase tickets, be sure you got to purchase them in advance. Go to 12thman.com/soccer tickets. 12thman.com/soccer tickets, and get your tickets for that. This is the SEC home opener, and Georgia is expecting a big, raucous crowd, and we don't want to disappoint them. And also, you can earn 50 points on the 12th man on 12th man rewards by checking in to the match. And when you arrive, if you head over to the Howdy tent for an Aggie Soccer noisemaker, a clapper. Get those while supplies last. They make such a pleasant sound for the opponents, and so you want to be able to go over there and pick one of those up. But again, that's while supplies last. So again, that's Friday at 7:30. Okay, and it's Texas A&M and the 24th ranked Georgia Bulldogs. Ought to be a great match. Really, really looking forward to this one. And the SEC gets underway with a full slate of games this week. Who you got up?
Yeah, I mean, the Georgia game, for example, with us the biggest thing is I think every game that we've had with them for the last 6 meetings has been a one-goal game. So
yes.
It'll be it will probably be that way one more time. We just need the crowd there to help us to make sure that the big numbers on our side. So other games are going on. So it starts tomorrow night with Arkansas at Florida. These are 2 games that are going to be on the SEC network. One starts at 5 o'clock with that's the Hogs against the Gators. Hogs are top 10 nationally ranked. They're coming off of a crazy result up in Omaha against Creighton, 3-3. They had to come from behind to tie that game in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Florida, always a hard place to go and play. And then the other game, which is a 7 o'clock kickoff, is South Carolina against Alabama. Both of these teams are having great years, and
right.
That game is going to be in Tuscaloosa. Then Friday night, number 1 Tennessee at Mississippi State, the defending champions. So you have the team I picked for preseason favorite, Tennessee, against last year's champion in Mississippi State. That game is at 6 o'clock. Other games that are kind of interesting: Texas at Mizzou at 7 o'clock, and then of course our big game at 7:30. Well, all of those are going to be on the Plus. Tennessee and Mississippi State will be on ESPNU.
All right, that's going to about do it for us. All next week we'll be talking about the annual Turn It Gold game, so be sure and pay attention for that. For G Guerrieri, I'm David Ellis. Thanks for listening, everybody, and Yegum.